Here we are looking at what's going on in Ukraine. We're starting off with, those pictures coming in and just dramatic images of helicopters and tanks and buildings being bombed. We're trying to get a sense of the casualties. Could be in the hundreds on both sides or perhaps higher. Can I ask you about the Russians? And I appreciate there is so much information coming, and much of it is misinformation on the Russian part, saying, look, we're ready to negotiate Ukraine as long as you surrender.
Yeah, no, I don't think the Ukrainian government is in any way taking this offer to negotiate seriously. Certainly, you cannot negotiate with an autocratic occupier that is threatening to kill you and your people. And also in a place like Minsk, where the occupier is coming from directly, that country in Belarus. So I don't see this as either a genuine offer or an offer that the Ukrainian government or its people would accept.
So it's just more Russian disinformation, and they are certainly experts at that, and they continue to sort of push out the narrative, Olga. And let me get your read on this one, because this is another whopper. We're liberating Ukraine from Western oppression. The country is run by fascists and Nazis. We're simply doing what's right for Ukraine as they are being controlled by the West.
Yeah, I mean, these statements are so outlandish that we actually don't know who they are speaking to. Because certainly to call President Zelensky's government a neo-Nazi or fascist government is absurd. This is a Jewish Ukrainian that is a Russian speaker from the southeast of Ukraine. When he was in a really grueling electoral battle with his opponent, some of the things thrown at him was that he would actually be too pro-Russian, that he was an example of Russian revanche because he is this Russian speaker who doesn't even speak properly in Ukrainian. So these things are just so absurd. Certainly no one in Ukraine is going to believe it. I think to remember how Zelensky was elected by 70% of the population. And he has strongholds in the East and South where you have ethnic Russians and Russian speakers. This is just not something that the people of Ukraine will buy.
And I know as well, we're showing Zelensky on the screen, Olga, as you and I are speaking, that he has said to his European counterparts at a recent meeting, look, this could be the last time you actually see me alive. I mean, he must realize now that based on intelligence, and the British are saying this as well, that the Russians want to take him and his government out.
I'm very certain he realized this. I don't think it's just now. I think he's known this for a while already. I think he has shown incredible statesmanship in what is possibly one of the hardest things any human has to go through, and certainly he has had to go through. I think Ukrainians are watching him, watching his video posts, sitting in. I'm sorry, it's a little hard because I literally get this information from friends and family on the ground. They're sitting in basements, they're huddled in garages below buildings, and they see their president that is not fleeing. And I think that sends a really strong message of how seriously resolute the Ukrainian people are and how he is actually a mirror of their strength.